Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
What is up? What is up? What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Once again, it's going down here at the Wait a Minute Show. It is your man, Jelani J.B. Bodie, and I'm back in the building. Talk about sports, right? But this is a little bit different sports. This is not a plethora of topics or anything like that. We're going to get to some special stuff today. But before I do all of that, make sure you see it right there, right below me. Subscribe to the channel, man. Make sure, if you have not already, that you're subscribed to the channel, turn on those notifications. And as always, go ahead, leave comments. We love comments, so we can comment back, right? So let's get into why we are here. I woke up this morning, stretch up a morning yawning, as someone said, and it is NFL free agency day, right? So this is the official day that players can legally sign deals and all this stuff. It's supposed to be, they had the tampering and all that good stuff or whatever. But deals have been going down all day long and they have not stopped and they continue. So if you see me checking something out like right now, that is a notification. So you may see me doing that if some other news come up while we're doing this. Okay. So bear with me as we go through it. But we got a lot of items or a lot of transactions that transpired. We're going to get into some teams as far as like what they did as well, or what they did not do in free agency. And, this is just the first stage. There's a lot of other stuff. The draft is coming up. You find those deals or those trades or those, diamonds in the rough and all that good stuff. Look, I'm getting a notification right now. Veteran tackler Cody Barton signs a 3-year deal, $21 million. So things are just going to be coming through like that as I'm doing this. But let's get into probably one of the biggest news that was dropped in free agency, and that was Sam Darnold not staying with the Minnesota Vikings. We kind of figured that was not going to happen after they did not tag him. So he finds a home with the Seattle Seahawks, which made all the sense in the world after Seattle made the trade to the Raiders and sent Geno on his way of who they were going to get. Now, here's the great part about that. Here's the challenging part about that. Great part about it is that Sam Darnold, man, has redeemed or restored or whatever you want to call it. It was a great, comeback story for him to come back, have success, play well after all this criticism, and now he has secured a bag, ladies and gentlemen. I think $33 million a year. So congratulations to him on that. That is great. I'm always happy when someone can come back and do good things and be rewarded for their actions. Now, here are the challenges that are going to be for Sam Darnold. There is no Justin Jefferson. There is no Kevin O'Connell. Nothing, no disrespect to the Seattle coaching staff up there. But what I'm just saying is that this is not the same nucleuses. This is not the same makeup. And Seattle is not a bad team, but they just traded DK Metcalf, which we're going to get into here in just a moment. So it's this transition that's happening. And when you have the season that Sam Darnold had, and you're in the city of Seattle as well, who have had some success. This is not a franchise or a team or a fan base where they're just happy that they got somebody. There are going to be some very, very, very high expectations. You're going to be playing against some of your old comrades, against the San Francisco 49ers. Also, the Rams is real deal in this division. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on Sam Darnold going into this next season, actually next 2 or 3 season. But the great part about we've seen Geno Smith come in there and play well. Sam has the opportunity to do that. Now, if he just keeps to the script, if he stays to the script and not be Superman or try and do, too much, because we have seen what happens when Sam Darnold tries to do too much. Stay within the confines of that organization or that game plan. I think he's going to be all right. But he has earned that deal that he got. It's not in the NFL, and I keep getting these notifications, but if I get something worthy of talking about, then I'll, say it. But it's not what you did, 3, 4, 5 years ago. It's always about what you did for me now. And what he just recently did for was took a team who we all thought, and I talked about them on here as well, is that when the season started, I did not expect the Minnesota Vikings to have the season that they had, to go 14-3. And a big part of that was Sam Darnold. I'm not going to take that away from him. So he's accomplished that. Going into Seattle is going to be a challenge, though. It's going to be a challenge. Boy, it's going to be a challenge. Next up, another challenge that's going to be there that dropped today as well during free agency. The opening of free agency was Justin Fields, right? Justin Fields was sitting back, chillaxing, and said, I'm on check the landscape, see what's going on and all that stuff. And now he has landed himself a deal as well, 2-year deal with the New York Jets. Uh, I will say I'm a little surprised, with him going to the Jets. I thought there was a possibility of him still staying in Pittsburgh. Not bad season, but I do think Pittsburgh probably got their own ideas of somebody that they want. They kicked the tires on Justin Fields. And here's the great thing about it. He got to play. He got to show teams that, hey, when I was in Chicago, it was a little bit different here. If I get the opportunity, let me show you what I can do. So Jets are going into a new regime anyway. You're going into it with a new quarterback. You're going into it. I mean, not a new quarterback. You're going into it with a new coach. You're going into it with a new GM. But here's the great part. There's some familiarity there for Justin Fields and one Garrett Wilson, who he played with at Ohio State. So you have that there. And Sam Darnold, I think, got some challenges. I think Justin Fields, he has challenges, but I think he has, a little bit better situation as far as like what's surrounding him. You got a pretty good defense. I know they lost DJ Reed, but you got a pretty good defense. Sherwood, this kid Sherwood, check out for him. He just re-signed a deal for the Jets. So on that defense, it's going to help out. You still got Sauce and some of those other guys there. But on the offensive end, I think with what they will try to do with Justin Fields, make him mobile, move around. Don't ask him to do, too much. He's a threat, throwing or running. Obviously, his feet probably is more of a threat right now than his arm, but that can change because my man AG is there. I think he's going to, make some development or some strides with one Justin Fields. So I don't hate it. I'm a little surprised that he did land there. I thought maybe he could, go somewhere else. I thought, Gino I already got traded, so I was going to say maybe the Raiders or, even the Titans or something like that. But obviously the Titans got, some things, with the draft that they can do, with that. I'll say the Jets, not bad. Got Brees Hall. Like I said, you got Garrett Wilson. Some pieces on that offensive end. It's going to be still a rebuilding stage. So that's the one thing. Don't put it out there. This is not 2 years ago where it was Super Bowl. Not do that. But they got Justin Fields. Pittsburgh picked up with a trade with Seattle, got themselves another wide receiver in DK Metcalf, and he signed an extension for 5 years, $150 million, if I remember correctly. But now, let me just say this. They still got to get their quarterback because it doesn't look like it is going to be Russell Wilson. I think, the rumors are that Aaron Rodgers, possibly could, come there. There's some other things that could happen. But with DK Metcalf, I think adding him to this Pittsburgh, because one thing that Pittsburgh knows, they know wide receivers. They know wide receivers. Just check their resume when it comes to wide receivers that have either been drafted or come into play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So they know this. And you're going to be able to pair him with George Pickens. That's going to be a dynamic duo. Now, I think the thing that you got to worry about, or not worry about, or question is who's going to be able to handle both of these guys, right? George Pickens, he's an alpha. DK is an alpha. You got other alphas, on that team. So it's a good problem to have. Let's just say that. But DK wanted out of there. He's gotten out of there. I think going to Pittsburgh Steeler fans, they're going to love him. You got a guy on the other side of the ball. Basically, you got 2 number ones. You got 2 number ones hopefully they're they can share the ball and watch and see what like T Higgins and Jamar Chase did, and just be like, you know what, whatever happens happens. And whoever is the, I guess, 1A, you got a 1A and a 1B with this. So I think this is a good deal for DK. I think this is a good landing spot for DK as well, because the structure that is in Pittsburgh, not that DK wasn't a problem. I'm not saying that DK was a problem, but it continues that structure. And it's just like, I think he's going to like it there. And it's definitely going to help. They need some help as far as like stretching the field as well, because when you look at Cincinnati, you look at Baltimore. I don't know what's going on in Cleveland. We're not even going to talk about that, but those two teams, they are always near the top. You got to get yourself, in the mix, or a threat to be in the top. You got to get yourself in the mix, and getting a guy like DK Metcalf is going to do that. Who else we got? The Rams. Now, I really didn't see this one. Getting Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams goes to the Los Angeles Rams and signs a 2-year deal there. I thought he was going to go back home, his original home in Green Bay, because remember, Green Bay needed a number one, or everybody talked about them having a number one. And I think if I remember correctly, Devontae talked about, part of the reason that he left was really they didn't know what they were going to do with Aaron. And he was trying to figure that out. He was like, I can't just sit around here and wait for y'all. So that's why he left. If he knew Jordan was going to take over, I think he still would have been there. So I thought he was going to go back and say, you know what, let me finish this up. But he goes to LA, and I got to tell you, Matthew Stafford got some higher guns. We already knew they were talking about, trading Cooper Kupp, or Cooper Kupp wasn't going to be back there. We already know that Puka Nacua was going to be the new number one, and we've seen what Puka can do for the past 2 years when he's had played in that offense. And to add a guy like Devontae Adams, I just think for what Sean McVay and that offense is what they're going to want to do, the things that they're going to be able to do, which ease that Matthew Stafford is going to have, because now, and Cooper Kupp wasn't a small dude, right? But Devontae Adams is probably like 6'3". Puka is about 6'2", 6'3" as well. So you got two jump ball guys. You got two guys that can take the top off. You got two guys that run underneath all these sweeps, or these jet sweeps that they run, or these bubble screens that they run. Both wide receivers can do that. And then you got a guy, Kyren Williams, in the backfield that's a threat as well. So getting Devontae Adams, I said last year, people thought I was crazy. I ain't crazy now. When I said the Rams were going to win the division, people said I was crazy last season. Now getting Devontae Adams, I think they got a lock on it. And I don't think San Fran is going to just be able to take it back just so easily. And we've seen what this defense for the Rams have been able to do. But going back to Devontae Adams, man, he is going to make life so much easier for Matthew Stafford, but also for Puka Nacua. And you thought you had a problem with Cooper Kupp and Puka. This is going to be, and I don't think he really cares at this point. He just wants to win. And this is a great landing spot for him. And he's back on the West Coast, where he was playing ball for college, and and everything. And he was on the West Coast, when he went to the Raiders as well. So I think he's happy. A happy Devontae. It's going to be a good Devontae, right? So Devontae Adams. Now, in a head scratcher, one other one. It wasn't a free agent acquisition. It was I guess, we're going to keep you. Make sure you don't go to free agency. And that was Myles Garrett, right? Myles Garrett, I think, shocked all of us. Well, maybe most of us, except for Myles Garrett, maybe, and a couple other people, in keeping his derriere in Cleveland, right? So this was, I just remembered I remembered the message, the very, I love the message that he had put. That is no, it's not anything about football. I was like, wow, this dude, he's pinned this message. Say, I want to do it here, but I gotta win. I gotta get out of here. People not taking his meetings. I'm like, oh, this is about to get crazy. Myles is probably going to have to just sit out. Is he willing to sit out? That's what I thought we were going to be talking about. Is he willing to sit out? And someone said, I got money. And Myles was like, all right, I'll be there. You know? So I don't know if maybe he just had a change of heart or he or this is maybe I try to go a little bit further with thinking about it. And I'm thinking maybe that he never wanted to leave in the first place. And this was just like, you know what? I don't want to play around and try and get my extension and all this stuff. Let me start now and then let me get my money. And then I still stay here and try and win. So maybe that was his angle because if it was masterful. It was masterful because he got it accomplished. But if not, it's just a head scratcher because it was just like not too long ago, you were like, I want to be out of here. And now it's like, they threw some money at me, and it's like, nah, bro, I ain't going nowhere. Nah, and I'm saying Myles Garrett, he could have got that money elsewhere. It ain't like just Cleveland was the only place that could offer. Now, Cleveland said they weren't trading him, but that's for a different story. But I just thought it was a head scratcher because it seemed like it was a total flip, from what was going on. There was nothing that was reported or nothing that, had a little inkling that he would take this deal. But you know what? I ain't gonna be mad at my man if he want to take the money and say, you know what? I'll just try it here. But here's the thing. Now, if it don't work, hey, whatever. You had your opportunity to try to move up out of there. You want to try it there. You got it. It's a challenge. If it doesn't happen, it just doesn't happen, right? I know people are going to say, different crazy stuff, down the road, but it is a head scratcher. Like this isn't like Myles said, 4 months ago. I gotta get out of here like during the season or whatever. And they was like, wait. Let me think about this. And then he said, I'll stay. This was just a few weeks ago. But he got it the way he wanted to get it, right? Who also was getting it was the New England Patriots, bro. Like the New England Patriots, it was supposed to be a different regime last season, right? But that didn't happen. And now, Vrabel is in there as coach, and I'm just kind of getting used to hearing cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. The New England Patriots spending money. They got 4 guys today. They got Milton Williams, which is a big pickup, who balled out in the Super Bowl and the NFC Championship game for the Philadelphia Eagles. So you got a guy down there that's going to be a disruptor. They go and get my guy from my Detroit Lions, Carlton Davis, to play corner. He plays man to man. He plays whatever it is that they want. So I think, to line him up opposite Christian Gonzalez, that's a nice look for the Patriots. Then you go out and you get Robert Spillane from Vegas, a guy who spent his time in Pittsburgh, went out to Vegas, made a name for himself, and now is one of the top linebackers in the league. And now he's in New England, covering the middle, for them. So an excellent pickup there. And then I'm sure it's like, I got to get my guy, Harold Landry, right? Vrabel, he was his coach in Tennessee. So Tennessee released him. He goes up there. So you got another edge rusher. So they addressed their defense in free agency. You got an edge, D tackle in the middle, a corner, and a linebacker in the middle. So you got all stages that you addressed in free agency to go along with some of the pieces that you had. We know Drake May. They're excited to have him, young quarterback, not going to cost them a lot for the next 2 or 3 years. And then they're going to be looking at adding other pieces, to this offense to make them, this could be a quick turnaround for New England and these investments that they've made. They've made some really, really, really good quality investments for their team. Watch out for New England. I with Vrabel there, I'm not saying I'm not going to say they're going to take over the Buffalo Bills or anything like that. But with what they're doing right now, they're going to be a better team. They're going to be a tougher team. and you're going to have to pay attention. New England is they're not bad, but they're not a team that just when you look on the schedule and you just like, we got New England. No, don't do that. Not going into 2025. Do not do that. They're gonna add some other pieces, man. So New England, amazing. Amazing. Good move. Now I talked about a head scratcher, and I'm gonna get up out of here with this last one. Uh with Myles Garrett and the head scratcher, but I got another head scratcher that I don't understand just yet, and maybe it's just because of the money that needs to be there. But I ain't heard nothing from the Dallas Cowboys. Nothing. I mean, th- there's still time. It's day one of free agency. There's still other days that are going to happen. But I see teams. Obviously, I know the teams with money. Chicago made deals and all this stuff, and then you got teams that just trying to get certain spots and everything. I understand that, but I'm like Dallas. They didn't make one deal. At least I know they re-signed their long snapper. They re-signed their safety, Marquise Bell. They lost Jordan Lewis. He went to Jacksonville, and then they re-signed somebody else on their team, but like no free agent. And maybe they had some people that interested and they just didn't, sign with them. But I just think this is not the start that you want because we talked about this last year, right? Now I know you got a lot of money wrapped up in the CD. You got a lot of money wrapped up in the DAC. You're gonna have a lot of money wrapped up in the Micah. But CD was already talking about rearranging his contract. I think Dak might have rearranged his contract because they're trying to be able to get other people in. So I'm waiting to see what Dallas is going to do. I know they had a horrible season last year, but we're still talking about the Cowboys, and I need to see them make some moves. If they again go through and do not make any moves, then I'm going to be in my same position that I was last year. Well, I messed up. Said they would finish second in the division. I was completely wrong on that. But we're going to be talking about them being in the bottom. But it's still early. But that's just my head scratcher for why haven't they made any type of moves going on. So I have not gotten anything else that popped up. Who knows what happens after? But I appreciate everybody hanging out with your boy. Remember, again, like, subscribe, turn on those notifications and all that good stuff. Follow your boy. And I'll be back with more and more stuff that happens in the NFL, NBA, because playoffs are getting ready to start in the NBA, March Madness, all that good stuff. So you'll hear from me again and again and again and again and again and again and again, ladies and gentlemen. So for your man, Jelani JB Bodie, host of this thing called The Wait a Minute Show, two things as always: stay positive and push forward. And I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.